We're going to give you a quick look at what some of the peak wind gusts have been across the entire state of Florida, some of which have been here across the first coast, but especially some of the hardest hit areas with regards to some of those peak winds. Sarasota reporting a 102-mile-per-hour wind. Venice, just to the south of Sarasota, this is the highest wind gust we have seen, 107 miles per hour. Tampa Bay International Airport at 85. Daytona Beach, 76, so that's getting significantly closer to the first coast, and Mayport reporting a 47-mile-per-hour wind gust. So sustained winds are certainly beginning to pick up. Now, inland areas only still about 10 to 20, but our beaches, those coastal areas, especially from Mayport south down through St. Augustine and then down towards Flagler Beach and Palm Coast, those sustained winds 20 to 30. Wind gusts now beginning to increase anywhere from about 40 upwards of nearly 50 miles per hour, and even pulling a little bit further south. You can see this kind of very narrow band getting pulled into the entire circulation of Milton. So that's why we have that 75-mile-per-hour gust there in Daytona Beach, 54 in Orlando, and then down towards Lakeland, Tampa. That's where we are continuing to still see anywhere from 80 to, like I said, 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts on the southwestern corner there near the Sarasota area. So we expected the wind field to continue to expand as Milton moved across central Florida and continued to weaken. So although by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we are expecting Milton to move offshore, the tropical storm force wind field will still be impacting us. So expect, although the rain to move off, the winds will continue to still be quite strong after sunrise tomorrow morning and really through the first half of your Thursday. Now, that's also impacting the storm surge forecast. We've expected 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, particularly for the St. Johns River, and still 3 to 5, not only for the beaches, but especially for those intercoastal areas and any intertidal zones. Now, the storm surge threat has begun to increase slightly for really northern Duval, but especially Nassau and some of our coastal southeast Georgia counties, Glenn and Camden. Starting to kind of just tighten up just offshore, creating a narrow band of stronger winds headed into those areas, and that's going to just continue to gradually increase that storm surge threat overnight tonight, and really especially more so throughout Thursday tomorrow. So here's just what one model's trying to depict with regards to the future wind gusts here over about the next 24 hours. So here, even at 9:40 tomorrow morning, still very strong northeasterly flow, particularly right at the beachhead. So further inland, yes, wind gusts 30, maybe upwards of 40 miles per hour, but coastal areas will continue to see those strongest winds of 50 to even 60, which is that kind of severe criteria where we do expect potential damage. That could continue through a large portion of your Thursday, not really beginning to taper off until late tomorrow evening. So the wind and the storm surge threat, that is now going to be an increasing factor and worry and concern here overnight and through the early morning hours tomorrow. Now, with regards to the rain, if you live out towards Lake City or up towards, Blackshear, Waycross, up into the Okeechobee, the rain's really not all that big of a deal. Very steep drop off if you go to the west or north. Now, further south, heavy rain continuing to be a concern, especially as it continues to accumulate more and more. We've seen about 3 to 4 inches, at least estimated radar-wise, for many portions of St. Johns County, Putnam County, Flagler County. That's where the heaviest rain will continue to be during the overnight period and into tomorrow morning. But by really sunrise or shortly thereafter, the majority of the rain is going to start to move offshore. I mean, we do expect the center of circulation, that eye, to move off the coast of Florida by 5 to 6 a.m. So yes, although we are going to dry out, drier air circulates in on the west side of this storm. As I mentioned, the winds and the storm surge threat will still be a considerable factor and worry through a large portion of tomorrow. Now, for the rest of the 7-day, yeah, things do start to quiet down. Thankfully, we certainly deserve it here. Friday, still, winds a little breezy. Those will gradually taper off then throughout the end of the week. And then finally, the weekend looking much better. A little bit of a warm-up, much drier weather as well. But again, we are transitioning now more so from the freshwater rainfall street flooding concern to those high winds and storm surge threats here over the next several hours.